Hello everyone. I got some rather annoyed comments recently with some videos I made because some people were saying, how could you have ran a fruit festival and been a raw vegan for 10 years and been to all these events around the world and met all these different teachers and met all these people, many thousands of people in the raw food, raw vegan path, and interviewed hundreds of people, and how could you have done this and not realized or not found out the reality that the raw food diet heals cancer, you know? And this is literally how people are responding to some of the videos I've made. But that is the point. I have done that. I have been to the events, met the thousands of people, put on the events, met close to another thousand people at my own event, like done hundreds of meetups and events, watched countless videos, read books, all that stuff. Like, thought about this a lot. Like, this stuff is in my head all the time. Because when you run a festival, if or any kind of event, if you're a half decent person, you want to make sure you're giving good information that helps people, that's realistic. So over the years, I like the idea raw food heals cancer. I like the idea fasting heals cancer. Love the idea of it. Wish it was true. Might be true in some cases. But the reality is, it's very rare. And I saw probably more times, more examples of people avoiding conventional treatments, trying raw, whether they actually did it or not, and or trying fasting, and it didn't work. Does that mean the conventional treatments work? Not necessarily. Maybe they don't work very well either. But if cancer was simply, well, cancer can't thrive in an acid environment. So as soon as I eat a raw food diet, no. Like, all of that stuff is pure silliness. It would, if you don't think it would have been worked out by now, and I get it. You're saying, well, people still have heart disease and diabetes and they don't get told to do a raw vegan diet, which is true. But we have many examples of people doing uh, a raw vegan diet or a vegan diet for heart disease and for diabetes, and it's pretty well known that these things are pretty much diet related. Yes, the doctors aren't giving that advice out. Yeah, I get that, but there's firstly there's studies showing the reversals. There is many examples of people. There are doctors that work with people all the time doing this consistently. You will not find that with cancer. None of those guys do cancer. Caldwell Esselstyn, Dr. McDougall, Dr. Barnard, all of those guys, notice, all those vegan doctors, Dr. Greger, all of the guys, do any of them specialize in cancer? No. Why not? They're not getting good results. They're not getting any results with cancer. So you've got to get rid of the idea that this is all diet related, that everything is diet related. Now, I'm a very strong advocate of everything is diet related, but it's, there's a case of being too late with things. And having the capacity to heal things and being in a healthy state and your immune system being strong is not enough when you've gone past its limit. I was once at a mind body soul fair, and I was sitting and I was giving a talk, and I think I had a sign up saying, free nutrition consultation. I don't know, I had something up. Anyway, a few people were stopping by, and a guy stopped and talked to him a little bit, and he went, "Oh yeah, cancer, so simple. It's just dandelion. You just need to take dandelion and that heals it." Like this is the arrogance of people, and I think he was trying to get his friend to do it or something. This is how arrogant people get, that they think they've figured it out, or some random person's figured out it's dandelion. Why? What difference would dandelion make? Do you not think the average cancer patient has just as nutritious foods as dandelion in their diet? Like, you think dandelion or any of these wild herbs are special? What do you think they have in them that's different? Something that heals cancer? Like, how do you think this works? Whatever's in that dandelion gets diminished down into its basic constituent nutrients, which are the same nutrients as in everything else, and then gets digested into your body the way that everything gets digested. Like, there's nothing special in anything. So the issue, the difference with cancer is the whole point of it. Like, that's why it's a difficult thing. That's why you don't have hundreds of people saying, "I reverse cancer." A friend of mine who's been in the raw foods thing since the 1970s, and he said to me, Herbert Shelton. Now, I've not seen where this was written, but this is apparently Herbert Shelton's information. Herbert Shelton potentially fasted more people than anyone in history, potentially. Not actually sure about that, but he fasted a lot of people over a consistent long period of time. He wrote a very famous book on fasting. He apparently said that he had never seen a case of cancer, of properly diagnosed cancer, being reversed with water fasting. Just think about that for a second. The man who was all about hygiene, the doctors are quacks, they're getting it all wrong. It's diet, it's lifestyle. It's that guy was saying, apparently, never had seen a case reversed. Or if he had, it was very rare. I can't remember. It was one or the other, but I think it was never had seen a case of properly diagnosed cancer. So he'd seen people who were misdiagnosed as having cancer that healed, but they didn't actually have cancer. They'd been told they had, but they didn't really. And if Herbert Shelton isn't writing books saying you can heal cancer with fasting, if he doesn't have articles about it, I mean, he wrote more than anyone else as well. Where's his books? Where's his articles? And you can speak to these guys. You can go and message them. How much success have they had dealing with cancer? Some of them claim this, but where's the examples? It's people that there are people that have cancer is reversed, but there are people across the spectrum whose cancer is reversed for whatever reason. There are people who didn't change their diet significantly. Spontaneous remission is the name for it. Is it the case that some of these are diet related? I don't know. And is it the case that some cancers are entirely diet related and could be reversed? I don't know. Is it the case that many can be prevented? Yes, I believe so. That's absolutely true. You can prevent it, but you can't advertise a service like, "Hey, I can help you prevent cancer." Like, no one's interested in that. People want to get rid of their cancer, reverse it. But this idea that you've got a tumor and that you eat raw, and that just starts to shrink and shrink and shrink. You know, I interviewed one lady, one young woman who fasted and did raw, and her thyroid cancer, as far as she's aware, has come under control and she's good now. So, was that to do with the the raw food, the fasting? I don't know. It sounds like she was fasting herself close to death almost. But I raise these kind of examples as exceptions, not like, oh, I've heard this so many times. I've heard this over and over and over. I've not, and I've never heard many of the speakers ever say, "Oh yeah," and my friend who went on raw food and reversed their cancer. Like, never. The stories aren't, and meeting the people, you don't get that many people. And there's another lady that I've met who was diagnosed with cancer and reversed it. But let me tell you, for every person that says, I changed my diet or I did alternative health stuff or whatever and got rid of my cancer, for every person that says that, there's thousands that tried. There's thousands that tried and it didn't work. And we had a woman come through Woodstock who had breast cancer, and like it was all this big toxic, I call this like toxic compassion, or maybe toxic femininity or something like that. It's like a person's sick or vulnerable or having problems, and come on in, we'll help you out, and come on in, and we'll help, and not really offering any help, just being compassionate and nice because it makes you feel good. You know, it's when someone's in a serious position like that, you need to give them the right advice and not say to them, "Hey, come to this lovely event and we'll give you a free ticket and a scholarship and you can come and hang out with all us and you can learn about eating fruit." And then they probably go and leave and don't even eat fruit, just taking advantage of an opportunity. But maybe they do change. Maybe she did. I don't know. And there's literally like a woman with quite advanced breast cancer, young woman, who had made a decision that she was going to deal with it naturally. She wasn't going to take the conventional treatments that are fairly successful, but obviously involve surgery and stuff like that. And I totally empathize with people that don't want to do surgery. And so she took the raw vegan path. I don't know. The thing is, how many people stay raw vegan from at the best of times? And then a year later, I think, I don't know if she came back or we were raising money, or there's a whole thing about raising money for her to go to like a cancer, the Gerson place, the place that totally scams people out of money. that basically says, we're going to scam cancer patients out of money. That's what the Gerson Clinic is. And Gerson put out a marketing film that's influenced a lot of people called The Beautiful Truth. And there's never been a more ironic title of a documentary. A lot of you who are like, oh, cancer can be healed naturally, really easy, you might have watched things like The Beautiful Truth. This is a marketing documentary for a cancer clinic. Like, wise up. Like, they choose the people they have in it. They choose a particular script. They choose the information they put out. They spin it in a certain way. And then they say, $25,000 to come here for a month, please, very much, thank you. And people at the end of life who've tried everything else, well, who have that money, will go and do it. Sometimes. I've known people that would happily do it. I've known people that were signing up for it and then passed away before they could go and stuff like that. And I was really not wanting them to go. But none of my business. But like, you just don't get that. You don't get that many people recovering from it. You don't get that many spontaneous reversals like that. And you don't see this clear link of, yeah, they went raw vegan and then it went away. And that lady, Jen, I can't remember her surname. I never met her really, but I think she went out to Gerson, had raised some money, went to Gerson, died there. I think she died there. And it was like she was showing some progress. Like, no, she wasn't. Like, and it was really scary. Her breast cancer was like really advanced. It was really sad. She actually showed it on camera one time because Harley was calling it out as being a scam. It wasn't a scam. Like, she genuinely had cancer and wanted to go to a cancer clinic. The cancer clinic is the scam. Like, so, or the scam. Like, I'm sure they're honest with people. Like, yeah, you can come, but we can't guarantee anything. They probably say that to people. Um, and there's Hippocrates that do. I don't know. I guess they let people come in as well. But I'm not sure what they're saying to people. Like, listen, the chances of you with stage 4 cancer, the chance of you reversing this with a raw food diet now are so unimaginably small that there's no point in you being here. But you can come if you like. That's the only way you can sell that ethically. The only way to sell that is saying, don't come. Only come if you know that there is no point in you coming. There is no point. But if you want to come to a place and try this, you can try it here. But there is no guarantee anything happens. It's not going to work. You should be at home with your family, spending your last days. But sure, come out to this place. And it's same as some fasting thing. It's all a little bit unethical, this stuff. It's like, yeah, come out and fast. Will it help my cancer? The answer should be no. It won't. Stay home. Deal with your affairs. Spend your last time with your family. Not, well, yeah. Can't guarantee anything, but yeah, come in. Have you ever had anyone reverse cancer at your fast? No, like never, not once. But maybe you'll be the first one. Thousands of dollars, please. Thank you very much. You know, it's a bad racket. It's the bad side of the alternative health situation. Real bad side. So all I can do is share this information. And listen, if if I saw people reversing cancer all the time, like, I would have seen quite a significant number of people by now. But it's less than a handful of people. I would say I know maybe 2 people, and all the other stories are people that had surgery. All the other I reverse cancer stories are people that had surgery. They want to attribute it to their diet. I don't know why they do this. To me, it's a lie. I healed cancer on a raw food diet. There's a guy called, I've told you about him, like Chris Beat Cancer, quite a big advocate in the alternative cancer, whatever. His whole story is he was diagnosed with bowel cancer in his 20s, went to the doctors, he didn't like what they were saying, and decided to do something different, and he did a raw diet for a while, and he beat cancer. But he had a surgery to remove the tumor. Like, that's how he beat cancer. He just didn't do the chemotherapy after it. That's what he's talking about. He didn't do the chemotherapy after it. He did a raw vegan diet. And it worked. After having removed the tumor. Like, so why isn't he just saying, do conventional treatment and change your diet? Instead, if you buy one of Chris Beat Cancer's programs, which my friend who had stage 4 cancer, because I've spent some time with people that had stage 4 cancer. So it gives you a different perspective on this. When you meet someone like that, it's very quickly you realize, oh yeah, fasting ain't gonna do it. They're already fasting. It's not funny, but like, if you meet someone with stomach cancer, you think they're eating a lot of food, but by this point, do you really think that they're getting a lot of calories in? They're wasting away, and it's not even if the raw food diet could work. It's like, how are you even getting them to do it? Their families around, they all want to feed them whatever they want to feed them. Like, it's just a difficult situation. Anyway, but anyway, my friend was listening to this Chris Beat Cancer program. He's like, "Can we do this?" I'm like, "Bill, you've known about this for 10 years. You've known about the raw vegan diet. You've known how to do it. You know Doug Graham. You've spoken with him personally. You've spoken to Don Bennett. You've spoken to all these guys. Like, you know how to do it. You should know by now what you're doing, but you don't want to do it." But Chris Beat Cancer is on the program saying, if you've been diagnosed with cancer, I just want to tell you one thing. You've got time. They're going to try and rush you into doing things. They're going to try and pressure you, but you've got time. Relax. Like, what the fruit, man? How can you say stuff like that? What the fruit? Chris Beat Cancer. That's just not true. You just relax. Don't If they've caught it early, don't worry. Just spend a couple of years trying raw vegan diet. No, it's terrible. It's terrible. It's a race against time, these things. And if it's been caught early enough and they've got a surgery that works quite frequently, then why wouldn't you do it? Why are you trying to be a hero and uh, you know prove something that's never been proved? So to me, these are exceptions, and you have to question: was the diagnosis correct? If someone reverses cancer, like, was the diagnosis correct? Was it a spontaneous remission? Was it nothing to do with them changing their diet? Was it nothing to do with them going to a counselor and a therapist and doing all that stuff? Weird thing around cancer is people go, "Oh yeah, he caused his cancer. He always had negative thoughts. He was such a negative guy." It's like, there's loads of negative people that don't get cancer. There's plenty of positive people that get cancer. Anyway, there was Jen's journey, and it became like Jen's journey scholarship because Jen died, and it's not funny, but like, it's really sad that she died. This is a lady who obviously got bad information from people like you guys that are saying, that probably go around and say to people, "Yeah, you can heal cancer with that. You've not got cancer. You've not got that problem, but you're confident to tell everyone else how to deal with it. You've never seen anyone deal with it, but you're confident." So she's in that situation. Um, she's been influenced by this information, decides that she's going to try and heal it naturally. It doesn't work. She passes away as a very young woman. Real tragedy. There was another lady called Steph. Steph? Really cool, really nice, really cool person who used to go to Woodstock. Steph? Stephanie, yeah. Friend of, like, one of the best friends of Philly Raw Christina. Was at these events multiple times. Got diagnosed with cancer in her mid to late 30s. Apparently, the story goes, was working with a big name, not someone I've interacted with, but a fairly big name advocating, eating more fruit and veg. And she got a diagnosis from him that she had a lump. She got a diagnosis from him that it wasn't a tumor. Because this guy, just to let you know, he diagnoses though in a different way by like speaking to spirits, you know. So, and spirits, for anyone that knows anything about spirits, spirits don't know a clue about anything. Like the idea that you listen to spirits. Anyway, never mind about that. But this guy's listening to spirits, thinks that he's getting all the answers from them. Tells her, who's apparently working with him, nah, it's benign, it's fine. And it progresses, and it progresses. I think she actually went to some other. I think she might have went to some other raw food coaches who told her like, oh yeah, maybe it's iodine and vitamin D. That's what you should look at. Like not, well, if you're sick, if you've got a lump, have you been to the doctor? Have you confirmed that it's not breast cancer? That's the first thing to do. Never mind this bullshit about supplements, which is all bullshit. But have you been and got a medical diagnosis for this? And then have they offered you treatment? Can you get treatment? Like your diet, Steph, is close to damn near perfect. Like you, I don't actually know how she ate, but she probably ate pretty much close to perfect. You need now. You might say, "Oh yeah, people that are anti raw food. Oh yeah, all these raw food is getting cancer." No, it's like if you go to the cancer hospitals, the majority of people are on the standard diet, or everyone's on the standard diet. Everyone getting sick's on the standard diet. So let's not go down this road. But Steph passed away a good few years ago now. Total shock. Really sad. Probably would be alive like Jen if she got conventional treatment. It's it's a sad one, really sad one. And all the healing thoughts and healing prayers and the well, didn't you try this nutrient and didn't you try this juice and did you do a 60-day juice fast? It's all unhelpful compared to cutting out the cancer. That's 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 it. It's as brutal and as crude as that, and that's what we've kind of figured out. So so that's two examples, and then there was a lady at UK Fruit Fest called Dawn who went got diagnosed with cancer and went raw vegan, went 100% fruit, and it, you know, by the time that she was diagnosed with cancer, it was too late. By the time she was diagnosed with cancer, they said, "Sorry, there's nothing we can do." That was literally what happened. She got diagnosed with cancer, nothing we can do. Um, and so she tried the raw vegan path, and it unfortunately didn't work. And Dawn was one of the most positive people I've ever met in my life. Like so positive and uplifting a person that everyone would say it. Like everyone would say, you know, um, like it was a standout thing about her as a person. So cancer is something that can I think can happen to any of us. Honestly, that's the way I look at it. I think anyone can die of cancer. I think you could be the healthiest person and get cancer. We do have treatments. I think it's worthwhile in at least looking at what the information is about the treatments. I think there are some situations like prostate cancer where I think I've heard like Dr. McDougall say, kind of, what's the point of taking the treatment? It's probably not going to kill you anyway. Like what? Like, so he doesn't like the treatments and whatever. So there might be some situations there where you've got a particularly not very fatal cancer. But if you've got a really fatal cancer, then the people that deal with cancer have all the statistics on it, And being a cancer doctor is a really difficult thing, apparently, because it's just death, 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 death. Cancer is a people killer. The idea that there's all these people spontaneously getting rid of their cancer is just not true. It's such a brutal killer of people. And it doesn't matter how strong your immune system is. This is the whole point of it. That's why it's so devastating, is that your body's immune system isn't dealing with it. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of why it is so difficult to deal with. That's why they're trying to create drugs like viruses and stuff that will trigger the body's immune system to deal with it. And the truth is, if your body's immune system realized this is something I need to deal with, it would probably destroy the cancer in no time. It's not that the immune system is weak, it's that it is not dealing with it, because that's the unique thing about cancer. So, in saying that, I'm sure there's more to it. I'm not the world's expert on cancer, but that is basically a basic thing about it. So, everyone who thinks they know everything about cancer, because, and like, people have said to me, oh, Robert Morse has got lots of testimonials about people healing cancer. So I went to his website or his YouTube channel, Cancer, Robert Morse. I found one lady who'd had no breasts. And she's saying, wow, I wish I'd heard this information before I got my surgeries. That lady was alive. She was alive, you know. But she's saying, well, if I'd known this before, she'd have been dead. That's if she'd met Robert Morse before the surgeries and decided to change her diet instead of getting surgery, she probably would have been dead. You know, that's the way I feel about it anyway. There's a whole other thing about, will the person actually do it? This is the other problem. Let's say 100% fruit diet works. Definitely. How many people are doing it? That's another problem. Anyway. So, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to subscribe. This information is not meant to be negative. It's meant to be realistic. And I'm happy to change my mind as soon as I get, you know, as soon as I start seeing this being any different. But, you know, when people mention to me about cancer or they ask me my opinion or advice, I always say to them, what's your doctor saying? Are you working with your doctor? What's their advice? What are they telling you? Yeah, change your diet, that's fine, but surgery, any of these treatments, does any of it work? What's the thing? So anyway, thank you for watching. I'll see you in another video.